Hey everybody. Um, Excuse my appearance. I've been through the ringer these last few days with my dad. I just wanted to jump on here and say a few words about an experience that we had with a nurse at the emergency room where we took my dad. I'm not going to put any names on here. I have reported her. All I'm going to say is I took my father into this hospital on Saturday having symptoms of a stroke. He was not speaking properly. He was having trouble walking. And he was drooling, things like that. He is 79 years old. He's been battling lung cancer as well, but he'd been doing well with that, and he's very independent for a 79-year-old man. So seeing him so weak and fragile was really hard for us. Well, when we finally get back into the emergency area, this nurse comes in and not nice at all, very rude. I have a lot of respect for nurses, and this nurse should not be a nurse. She was beyond unprofessional and disrespectful. We had waited hours and hours and hours for information to find out what was going on with my dad. And we basically were put in a room and pretty much ignored. They came in there every few minutes. So his fiance and I were sitting there talking, and the nurse walks in with an attitude, telling us that we have to be more patient with her because she's been working 12-hour shifts and that she doesn't get lunches or breaks. And she looked at my dad and she said, "He looks normal to me." Normal? No, he didn't. He looked awful. She persisted to tell us how many patients she was working with, things I had no interest in. I wanted to know what was going on with my dad. I didn't need to hear her talk about what was going on with her day. Very inappropriate, very unprofessional. She was very rude, made things so much worse. I'm the kind of person, I'm not going to confront her right then. I did report her though. It's just sad to me that this nurse, trained nurse, looked at my dad like he was basically nothing, said he looks normal to me. Well, newsflash, an update. When we got my father to a different hospital, he was having a heart attack. He had had multiple strokes. And he was not okay. Thank God we got him to that hospital when we did. He's got a long road to recovery. But this nurse told us he looked normal and pretty much made us feel like we were just a burden to her. Now, let's fast forward. My father is in critical care. The nurse that is taking care of him in critical care is how nurses should be. She's loving. She's compassionate. She's patient. She's kind. She takes time to answer our questions. She doesn't tell us about her workday. She tells us about what's going on with my dad. She was there the very next day when we came back, and I said to her, "Haven't you gotten any rest?" She goes, "Yeah." She goes, "I went home." She goes, "But I'm back now." She is amazing. I know you are working hard out there, but have compassion for these families. We're coming in with our loved ones, and this is an emotional time for us. So don't tell me about your day, okay? I didn't choose that profession. Tell me about my dad and what's going on with my dad. Vent to someone else about your day. And have some compassion and some kindness. This has got to change. We have got to have more nurses that have the compassion, the patience, and the kindness to not only deal with the patients, but the families as well. Is that too much to ask?